Hello Rocket Troops and welcome back to the HQ. Today we have a viewer submission battle against Serena, aka Rodrig, and Stone. I'm joined of course by my good friend, my cohort, my partner in crime, Admin Umbra.
What's good, Rocketeers?
So today this is a very interesting battle. Umbra and I watched it. We were just like kind of critiquing a couple different plays and stuff like that, trying to get a feel for what the minds of the players were like while this battle was happening. So do you want to talk about Stone's team?
Yeah, sure, I'd be happy to. Looking at the team, Cloyster's obviously a threat. Typically with Cloyster, we see either the Power Herb or the Focus Sash to both recover stats from Shell Smash or to survive a hit, respectively. Obviously, we have the little fighting flying dude who I very rarely see in OU, but I often see carrying the Unburden combo with Power Herb to use Brave Bird, or excuse me, not Brave Bird, Sky Attack instantly. Chandelure typically scarfed due to its low speed. This could be a Trick Room team because of the Ampharos, but it's highly unlikely given the Unburden, Fighting Flying Guy, and Cloyster. So I would expect a Choice Scarf Chandelure. That's its most effective set. Ampharos looks to be the Mega. I'm curious which set they're running. And then obviously we have the Honchko, a very another prominent physical sweeper. And then we have Nidoking. So a pretty balanced team physically and specially. I think it's a 3-3 division. But there are definitely some threats on this team.
Yeah, Serena's team is actually very interesting as well. There's the Thunders, which is nice. I'm guessing definitely the lead. And then there's the Alakazam and also the Charizard. So there's kind of the question of who's the Mega, but honestly, I really hope that it's the Charizard.
It's one of those things where like most players would argue that the difference between normal Alakazam to Mega Alakazam is insignificant. Some even argue that normal Alakazam is better due to Magic Guard and Focus Sash, things that Mega Alakazam cannot run. Whereas no one in the world will tell you that normal Charizard is more effective competitively than Charizard X or Y. The stat bonuses, the abilities, it's a profound difference. I would always recommend wanting a Mega Charizard on this team over an Alakazam. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And then there's the Lucario, which is definitely a threat, depending on how it's run on Serena's team. The Haxorus is cool. I like the Hax. You don't get to see that too often.
The hacks.
My boy Hax. And then there's the Golurk just chilling back there. I was trying to think if maybe it would be the lead, especially because it can get Stealth Rocks and stuff. So not really sure. Really interesting team. So let's just jump into the battle so we can get this commentary started.
Let's do it.
Again, this is a Rodrig, aka Serena, so thank you so much for that viewer submission. We always like doing viewer submissions and talking about your teams and talking about your battles and everything else. So, Stone sends out the Nidoking.
That tells me immediately this thing is scarfed. I don't know if Rodrig was used to seeing Nidoking, but this is a very popular set in Gen 5, and it's most definitely scarfed. With Sheer Force, it's quite a prominent special attacker. Grass Knot goes off, and being ground poison, it actually resists that hit. It's only neutral, and that does so much damage only because of the crit. But staying in, this thing is definitely done. Looking at Rodrig's team, there's actually a very substantial ice weakness, so I'm not sure there's a lot they really would have wanted to switch into.
Yeah, and here Rodrig sends in the Charizard, which goes for the Air Slash. So without going for the Mega right away, there's really the question of, is this just a normal Charizard?
And it's one of those things... wait a minute. Maybe the Nidoking didn't outspeed, so the Nidoking can't be scarfed. It must have been Life Orb. I'm very surprised then that the Thundurus didn't outspeed it.
I guess that's true. I didn't really notice that until just now either.
The Ampharos doesn't Mega either. I get possibly anticipating this to be a Mega Zard X and not wanting to Mega for the super effective hit. But now Haxorus does come in.
The Hax.
The Hax is here. And choosing to stay in, we're not going to take that Earthquake very well, especially as a normal Ampharos. I guess we won't know if that was a Mega or not, but it does in fact take Ampharos out.
And then the Cloyster comes in, which is a nice switch. I mean, definitely the right switch. And then the Hax stays in, which really...
I personally think Lucario could have been a better switch, depending on the set. Steel Fighting, obviously quad resists the Icicle Spear. Also, if we have Bullet Punch, that could do quite a bit of work to a Cloyster if it was a Shell Smash variant.
But then again, Rodrig switches in this Alakazam, so not right away with the Lucario switch. And then this is the Mega, which was very interesting. Yeah, I don't really know.
It is certainly a very interesting play, but we do see this Alakazam do a little bit of work. There we see an example of no real utility gained from Trace. I'd love to see damage calc. I wonder if Shadow Ball would have just been a safer play, just to Oko the Cloyster. I don't know how much Shadow Ball would have done versus Focus Blast. Obviously, the miss could have happened, and Alakazam's very frail. The Honchkrow comes in from Stone. An excellent switch by Rodrig. I personally would have predicted a Sucker Punch. That's what most of these Honchkrows run. But perhaps Stone doesn't have access to hidden abilities. This appears to be a Super Luck Honchkrow. And based on the sheer number of critical hits, I'm wondering if this is Scope Lens, although it seems slightly unlikely. I'd also love to know the EV split on this Lucario because a base 71 Honchkrow just outsped a base 90 Lucario. So I don't know if Lucario went for a decreased priority move or what the situation was there, but I'd love to hear that from the players.
Yeah, definitely. It was really interesting too because a lot of these pokes seem to have like weird EV spreads, and there's a lot that's being outsped and a lot that's not doing what we think it should do. So obviously there's some kind of disconnect between what we know as competitive stuff and what these players have. So if you guys like to leave comments down below on what these sets are running, we'd be more than happy to look at that and comment down below.
Very interesting that the Honchkrow doesn't go for a Sucker Punch. Perhaps they don't even carry Sucker Punch. Very unusual given how slow Honchkrow is. But also keeping in mind this was not a Moxie variant. It was probably the Super Luck. Chandelure comes out. If it's Scarfed, it's not Scarfed. Maybe a Focus Sash. No Focus Sash. So it's quite possible the player might not have had access to it. That's the type of example I would highly recommend a Choice Scarf for. At this point, I think Rodrig Mega Alakazam just is absolutely doing colossal work to his team.
Yeah, definitely. The Psyshock there is like very
powerful.
The Psyshock there just completely annihilates the Salucha, and that's actually the game.
Oh,
so
yep.
Rodrig, Serena, Stone, great battle. That was very interesting to see what your spreads and what your pokes were. If like I said, if you want to put your teams and stuff like that in the comments down below, we'd be more than happy to comment back and talk to you a little bit about what your ideas were with the team and stuff like that. But yes, great battle all around. Very fun to watch. Love your submissions as always. Thank you for submitting this work, people.
Absolutely. And, it's always fun to be creative and to see creativity, always go against the grain, always willing to challenge what is OU, what is accepted. I applaud Roderick and Stone for both doing so. And the whole point of this is we can all learn together. Hopefully, you can both go as players and we can go as players through watching your battles. But, we'd be happy to take some of your suggestions to mind. We hope you take ours to heart as well. But thank you so much for sending in this content. We are always happy to show off your amazing battles, to show off your skills as a battler, to give credit to the Rocket Nation. Again, this is not the Umbra and Shade show. We are not about going popular by stomping on everyone. We want to grow together with Rodrig and everybody else. So Rodrig, thank you so much for the viewer submission. This is Admin Umbra signing off from Rocket HQ.
See everyone, this is Admin Shade signing off for Rocket HQ.
Bye-bye.